What's going on, Cigar Club family, and welcome to another Cigar Club podcast where we talk cigars and the world around cigars. Today, we're going to be talking about our favorite places to smoke cigars. Joining me is Griff. Howie. How we doing today, buddy? What are you smoking? What are you drinking?
I'm smoking what you're smoking. The Placencia 146, the Cosecha 146. And the exciting drink of choice? Water.
What?
Craving water.
Bro.
I've had a headache the past couple days. I think I might be a little dehydrated. And I'm just craving water. So...
Well, I can't. I'm a hydro homie. I can't bring you down for drinking some water, but I'm a little disappointed. I expected maybe one of each. Maybe a bourbon.
I was thinking about it. And I'm like, Griff, just, it's okay. You don't need to have bourbon today. Drink the water. Drink what your body wants. And my body also wanted this cigar right here.
Yes.
Which happens to be, folks, Mr. David Pugh's very first ever Placencia.
Yeah, first time. You've smoked a lot of their brand, a lot of their lines at this point, and you've been harking about it. We were finally able to get Placencia starting this month, or starting in April. Placencia will be starting to come to boxes. So you may have a Placencia cigar this month as you're listening to this podcast. If you've got the 146, light it up with us. Sit back. We're going to smoke through this and just kind of relax. It's going to be like more of a relaxed kickback episode. Had a lot of technical difficulties going into this. I cut my microphone cable in half, so we're going with the old AirPods. So if I don't sound as beautiful as I normally do, that's the reason why.
Yeah, you definitely sound different, look different.
Well,
the whole nine.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot. But before we move on, I want to break down the Placencia 146. It's a Honduran cigar with a Honduran wrapper and binder, and Honduran and Nicaraguan filler.
Yep.
So almost a pure Honduran Puro. I assume it needed a little punchiness. They threw in some Nicaraguan binder in there to kind of round her out.
So I smoked the 149, which is basically their latest release. I think it's been definitely 4 or 5 months.
I think it was like November was when that came out.
I smoked it for the first time Monday.
Yeah.
Which is their first Honduran Puro. It was phenomenal.
That cigar is dark.
Beefier and spicier, and it's definitely more up my alley. The 146 on any day. This is just a super clean cigar. Really like this selection.
Just getting into it here. Mild retro hail, maybe a little bit of like white pepper on it. Overall, super clean flavors. Maybe a medium, maybe a touch over medium, but not much over. I think they grow all their tobacco, if I'm correct. They have the Placencia family farm that all of their tobacco comes from. Obviously, I don't think that Nicaraguan tobacco is probably from their family farm, but really unique. This is it's been like 4 or 5 months. Hey, David, get a Mocha Placencia. You've got to. No one around me carries them. So now I'm able to.
I'm
excited to smoke
It's
through all
a harder brand. My local shop recently started carrying them probably 2 months ago. They had been on their list for a while and finally got pretty much their core lines. And yes, they're expensive. This is probably MSRP of $12-13 maybe. The 149 I think was 15 maybe.
And they get up there in their 20s and 30s, right?
Yeah, the Alma del Fuego and was $18-22. Yeah.
Yeah. But you really, is it the De Fuego or the De Fuente? Don't they have two different ones? They have
Alma de Fuerte.
Yeah.
Is pretty much the meatiest of them all.
Gotcha.
It is a phenomenal cigar. Probably the darkest cigar, heaviest, most full-bodied cigar. It's definitely not an everyday cigar.
That's the one that has the unique like Vitola, right?
They had like the Salomon.
Yeah. That one looks cool. That's the one I want to smoke next.
Yeah, they've got some interesting Vitolas for sure. But yeah, big fan of Placencia here. Didn't smoke them for the longest time. I just thought it was,
Yeah.
But glad I get the chance to.
Yeah, this is shaping up beautifully. I love this band. They got like if you're watching at home, if you don't have one yourself, it's got kind of a silvery pop to it, and beautiful wrapper too. I mean, so far, great impressions. Super straight burn line on this bad boy. I don't know if yours is, but I'm not drinking water because I drink water all day long, and I wouldn't do that to the people.
Yeah, you drink about 19 gallons of water every day.
I do. Can you guess what I'm drinking? Here, I'll hold up the glass. Can you tell? Can you tell by that color?
Oh, red wine. What's the proof point?
107.
Weller?
No. Next guess. One more.
Nastif?
It is.
Nice.
Pull out the old Nasif. I haven't had this one in a while. This is probably my... Thanks to you. Let me get that out of the way. You were kind enough to send this bottle to me. Over George T. Stagg, this is my coveted bottle.
Wow.
Yeah. This is
I
a
have
bottle
a bottle
that I will
still unopened.
never throw
I'm about
away.
to kill another, but it's a great, man. Everything coming out of Cat's Eye, including Obtainium, as we've discussed.
Oh.
He produces some great aged stuff.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, gosh, I was drinking Obtainium on Monday, and I shot you a message yesterday or Tuesday. I forgot how damn good Obtainium is. And
I know.
I forget that it's a 15-year whiskey, and then the fact that it's 143 proof. Oh.
Last time I was in Pensacola, I was at the same location that I got our Obtainiums and Nasifs from, and they had 6 to 10 bottles of Obtainium, but it was all non-hazmat stuff.
Yeah. Which I bet is good, but
it probably is. I don't even know what proof point it is, but
it's probably high 30s.
Yeah, I would probably think so too. But hazmat Obtainium is phenomenal.
Yeah, and neither Alabama nor Georgia have I ever seen any of these on the shelves. So I don't know if Cat's Eye just hasn't, distribution rights aren't available. I'm sure Alabama, that makes sense. But Georgia, normally I can find anything in Georgia to some extent. And I've never even seen like an empty spot on the shelves for these. So thank you again for both of those bottles.
Of course. Of course. I got to find another one for you.
This is a perfect segue into I am reciprocating, not as generous as what you sent me, although I did pay for one of them at least. Yeah, you were kind enough to send the other one, which I did try to pay you for. So I got a little something coming your way. I just ordered it today. I won't tell you what it is, but it's just a fun little gift. It's nothing as cool or exciting as bottles of bourbon, but it should be there.
Also,
the beginning of May.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Let's not forget. Well, no one knows this other than you and me. Pugh also got me, which we got to do a podcast on. I think that'd be kind of fun. Something around it. The last 4 years of last Cavaleris.
Yeah.
Calaveras.
I gave you the green, yellow, red, purple. I think those are the colors that I've got you.
Can't remember exactly the colors, but yeah, I guess it's the last 4.
Yeah. I'm excited to do that. I really want to know out of those 4 because I know which one's my favorite. I think I've mentioned it, but I won't say it again to lead you into anything. But curious to see out of those. I don't know if you necessarily want to smoke all 4 at once, which would be fun.
Yeah, never seen it.
I don't care.
Maybe 2 one day, 2 another day.
There you go. But curious to see which ones, and we can kind of smoke those on the podcast. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But let's jump into the heart of it.
Look at us. Look at us. Sitting here relaxed and just gifting things to each other.
I'm really excited. I'm not gonna. I don't want to give anything away, but we'll showcase it once you get it on the podcast, the next podcast that you can when you have it. But it should be the first week of May, I think.
Can't wait. What are we discussing today?
A little bit more relaxed. We've done a lot of top cigars, top bourbons, underrated, overrated. Just want to switch things up a little bit. Let's kick back a little bit. It is springtime. The heat is here. The heat is picking up. Mm-hmm. I think most places are probably experiencing a little bit warmer weather, maybe out Midwest, up north. It may be still a little cold or snowy every once in a while. But I think cigar season is in full swing. There should be an appropriate 100%. Time of the day for everyone to be able to grab a cigar. But we're going to be just talking about our favorite places that we like to go smoke or we have smoked. Just nice and chill, relax, spark some conversations. I've got kind of fairly recently I've been to my favorite places, so it was kind of a perfect topic to discuss about.
Yeah, I have not given this podcast any thought whatsoever, so everything's going to come
Classic. Ooh.
ad lib.
Yeah, that's
if you
where
will.
it's coming from the heart. Well, I'll let you think about it a little bit, but I'm going to just kick off with probably the coolest place that I've had a cigar, or how do I camping. Let's just put it that way. The views that when we were in the national park, we hiked up this mountain and sat on this rock, and I wanted nothing more to be able to smoke a cigar. It was a public trail, so I couldn't, but I brought a cigar with me and took some photos up there. Just being able to dangle your legs over, maybe the little fear of falling over, perfect. But waking up each morning, having a cup of coffee by the campfire, lighting up a cigar, not having to worry about going grocery shopping, paying the bills, what to do that day. Cigars themselves are naturally relaxing, but then to add on that element as well of knowing that you've got nothing that you need to do that day. You can do as little or as much as you want and be able to kick off the morning that way by a bonfire, drinking some super strong coffee. Great. And then we transitioned to at night. We were all sitting around. Only light is by the campfire, and we're all smoking cigars and just having a good time, drinking, playing some drinking games and some card games. I mean, it was probably the coolest experience that I had that Saturday. Absolutely perfect day, and other than being freezing, I think that's probably the coolest place that I've been able to smoke a cigar.
It's even if you have a kind of a cigar that doesn't sit well with you, it's hard to not enjoy something like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It reminded me, and we're going to do it at PCA if we have. No, we're going to have time. I think one of the coolest spots for me, kind of in the same realm, is smoking, and I don't think you're supposed to actually, but is setting up. We set up a couple chairs at the top of, or it seemed like the top of, Red Rock Canyon in Vegas. And we got drone footage. There's something about mountains to me, which is obviously a perk of living here because we're closer to the mountains, but nonetheless out in Vegas and in the desert and in Red Rock Canyon specifically, it was so cool. We went out there at 7:30 or 8 a.m., started drinking.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
Cigars. I think I was smoking the Patrimonio, maybe.
I think so.
And
drinking some Micheladas or what?
Yeah, it was God. Yeah, but it was by far the coolest experience because there's maybe 6 to 10 little rest stops, parking lots along the trail, and we pulled up to a couple. No, this isn't the right one. No, it's the right one. Found the perfect one, and we will be going back, folks. We're gonna go back to the same little. I don't want to call it a grave site, but same little.
Side stop, something like that. I mean, it's not attraction, but
same spot. Let's just say the same spot. We're gonna light a cigar, and it's just surreal out there. So that was probably my coolest experience. Don't really remember much of anything of the cigar specifically, but
that's hard to. That just overshadows the experience.
Yeah,
you're not sitting out there picking up flavor notes when you're surrounded by nature and just looking to relax.
Trying to beat the heat and. Sun was baking us, and it was so cool. It was really cool.
I remember the first time I went to Vegas was for my bachelor party, and realistically, growing up in the South, just used to not dry, but humid heat, and you get off that plane, and it was, I think we went March. That's a different beast. Dry heat is wild. I think I stepped out and my lips immediately were chapped, and I'm like scrambling around looking for chapstick. Oh God, I can't wait.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy. I don't think if I lived out there, I could enjoy a cigar outside. I'd have to find some way to have AC blowing on me because it is. Shout out to anyone if you're out in that area, and if you smoke regular, you're a beast.
Being able to smoke in the casinos is super nice. So it's like blasting air conditioning. And that was the trip that I did not spend 1 cent gambling. So
wow, good for you. I'm not a table gambler. I enjoy just the relaxation of slot machines. When we went out there for my bachelor party, they had the Deal or No Deal slot machine. I made bank on that game. That game was so fun because it gets you because you have to keep putting money in to be able to get to like where you select the cases and whatnot, and that's where you make a lot of money because you'll select cases and the dealer will give you $60 if you don't go on. You keep going, and the better you pick. But that game is a lot of fun. And table
Yeah.
games, I feel like you end up spending too much money on, and I'm not about that life.
I'll blow through some money if you want to gamble on what car goes by or the Gatorade color of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I mean that by like I'll throw in like $10 to $20. But sitting at a machine for hours upon hours or any of the table games that I don't understand, that's not me. I'll walk around and smoke and look at people.
Oh yeah, and with slot machines, you get people come up. You're obviously going to tip them for bringing you a drink, but you sit there as long as you want on the penny slots. The coolest thing, literally, like we land that day, and my parents had given me, I think they gave me $30. They love roulette. And so this is the first time I've been to Vegas, first time I ever played a table game. So I walk up to the roulette table. It's just the dealer and me because it's early in the morning or, afternoon. Vegas hasn't started yet. And they gave me 3 numbers to play, each of their birthdays and their anniversary date. So I walk up, I put $10 on each. Just me. Cool. Literally the start of my trip. She spins it. And sure enough, it lands on number 28, which is my parents' anniversary date. And $350. I think it's 35 to 1 odds for it. Start the vacation off with $350. Best part of it, they made me actually give it to them.
Wow.
So I didn't actually get to play. They're like, oh, you best believe you're giving me that money. So that's how I started off my Vegas trip. But what a cool experience actually winning on a number, not red or black or odd or even. I don't know if you've ever played roulette, but that was pretty cool. And I was like, man, if I just slapped a hundy on that, that would have been $350 or $3,500. Oh.
Yeah. I'm excited to hopefully get a Wrangler or some badass car that reeks of smoke.
Yeah, we got into
preferably
it. Preferably topless.
Like smoke.
Yes.
Preferably topless, so we can
well, what you meant to say is
a little bit of Vegas.
The exotic car rentals that they have in Vegas. Maybe a Lambo, Bugatti. That
would be awesome as well.
Rolls Royce.
That would be a lot of fun.
Put that into the podcast budget.
That would be a lot of fun. It'll be a good trip, but yeah, Red Rock Canyon was really cool. If we can sneak out for a couple hours and get
that's
up there
worth
again,
an early, hungover, tired morning to be able to go out there and just see that. That's never. I haven't been outside.
Going out there
of
for
Vegas.
the sunset would be also, or sunrise rather, would be freaking awesome.
That'd be great. Go camping real quick. Just drag her ass from the convention floor to camping out there on the side street. Little quick update if you're looking. Little bit of a wiggle, but pretty much a beautiful stacking dimes over here.
Out.
This ash is not going anywhere unless it'll be my lap.
No. Consistent burn.
Well, I'm going to pose a question for you because I know you haven't pre-thought, but were you about to say something? Did you have one?
No, go for it.
So we both kind of talked about our most scenic view, with yours being Red Rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
And mine being camping. What is the coolest place you want to go smoke? If you could go anywhere in the world, no worries about traveling or getting there expense-wise, is there a place that you've ever thought of like, damn, I would love to just go have a cigar there?
Oh, golly, I've never given that any thought. Wow.
Getting deep here, folks.
Do anything come to mind for you?
Yeah.
All right, well, kick it off. Let me give us a couple seconds of
So, I'm going to build the picture. I want to go to the Alps or, the Alps. You know, when you see those pictures of people opening their cabin door and they walk out, they're surrounded by mountains, there's snow all over the ground, and it's a glacial lake, clear water. Not only do I want to go vacation that, but walking out with that a cigar in the morning, seeing that as your view, cup of warm coffee in your hand. I bet
people do that every day.
I know. It's so unfortunate that I have no geography here. We're in the rolling plains of Dixie, but I don't see any rolling. I just see plains. There ain't a mountain or a hill in sight around me, and I miss seeing that view. When we were driving up to Kentucky for the Bourbon Trail, Bailey and I were just commenting like hills and rolling landscape. It's just gorgeous.
It is cool.
I would love to have something to be able to look out and see that every day.
Yeah, I think I actually, not to steal anything, but it's been on our list for a couple years now, and it's no rhyme reason why we haven't gone there. It's just timing. But Jackson Hole, Wyoming has been on our list for a couple years now, and I'm in the same boat, just super mountainous. I mean, we're
Yeah.
definitely not super mountainous here, but even more so, preferably with snow on the ground, bundled up, fire going, cabin.
Yeah,
the
don't make
whole
my mistake and
Yellowstone vibe.
not be bundled up. I went to Yellowstone as
Yeah.
a kid and when I was in middle school, and I wish I remembered more about that trip. I wish I was more appreciative of that trip at that
Yeah.
time. You're a kid, so it's kind of one of those. You don't appreciate it for what it is, or the experience, or the rarity, the specialness that not everyone gets to partake in that. But Yellowstone was gorgeous. I remember looking across and seeing like buffalo and bear.
Yeah.
Having a cigar there would be killer. I imagine you're not allowed to, but I'd probably sneak in a little shorty.
I also think, and not to smoke anything else other than cigars, to be clear, walking the streets of Amsterdam would be badass.
Okay, there, Griff.
Was there when I was probably
Oh, really?
12 or 14 years old, maybe. And the houseboats and just the water channels, just downtown. I mean, it's
The architecture.
a beautiful place.
Yeah, I bet.
Beautiful, beautiful place. And number one, I'd love to go back, but just walking the streets of freaking Amsterdam with, people are smoking other stuff there, but smoking a cigar would be really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Never had a chance to go to Amsterdam. I think it was one that we've threw around a few times, but that would be really cool. I just love being a history major, if y'all didn't know. I love just walking to a place that has so much history and
So much.
You can feel it as you walk those grounds, whether it be something like Amsterdam or something more historic like Notre Dame. That would be really cool.
I will tell you, living outside of Annapolis for 12 years, Annapolis, nonetheless, in D.C., has so much history, and I've had a cigar downtown Annapolis, which is really, really cool. Not my grandma, my mom used to work for the mayor of Annapolis's office, and I can't remember if it was the basement of that building or the attic of that building, but George Washington played cards there. Like, it's freaking nuts.
Yeah, I mean, think about all the politicians that smoke cigars or have smoked cigars over the years. All the places that they've ventured to, and I don't know if I imagine at one point you could smoke at restaurants, so high-end steakhouses where presidents and foreign diplomats have gone to. Stuff like that, just I can kind of sit down and just close my eyes and think about all the cool people that have walked through a place like that. It's one of my favorite things.
Or the Davidoff Lounge in the UK.
Have you been to a Davidoff Lounge?
Not an official lounge, I don't think. Our plan was last time we were in Vegas for TP to go, but it was closed.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to the Monte Cristo Lounge instead, and that was cool. But I've never been. If they're open this year, we should definitely try to do that.
You should. You'll walk in and just immediately say, "Oh,
I wasn't dressed for
this is already
the
overrated."
occasion. Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
But I would still do it. It would still be cool and act super fancy for 2 hours. But that would be cool going to that lounge in the UK. I don't know if it's in London specifically or Oxford, but that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I see. I think one of our viewers was there at one point. The cigar lounge in London where it has Winston Churchill's seat that he would regularly sit in
That's
when
the
he
one.
came in. Is that the one? Is that the Davidoff Lounge?
Yeah, it might not be necessarily a Davidoff Lounge specifically, but I think it might be. It's like in their basement or something. They've got like a wall of all of his hat, and
That's cool.
That would just be so freaking cool. I would think it's the lounge because Winston Churchill, but yeah, that would be something.
There's a Davidoff Lounge in Atlanta, and it's like in the heart of Buckhead, which I don't normally, whenever I'm in Georgia, I don't really tend to travel into Buckhead, but that's been on my list, as well as, what's the name of it? It's the one Cam Newton opened. That would be really fun to go to as well.
I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. It's a separate conversation, separate podcast for sure, but there's some lounges that I could go every single day. And then
that'd be a cool topic to do. Like,
I could not.
Our favorite lounges and kind of what we look into for a good lounge. That'd be cool. Cause I'd love to hear what people like local lounges. Cause whenever I go like in Memphis, when we're going to Memphis here in about a month, I've already scouted out cigar stores to go into.
Oh,
so wherever I travel to, I always find out a local brick and mortar, and even if it's just to go in and buy a cigar, because I don't necessarily want to sit down for 2 hours when I'm visiting a new place, but I want to go in, buy a cigar, talk to those people, and kind of support that local store.
Yeah,
but that'd be a good podcast. Maybe we'll do that as the follow up to this one.
Yeah, there's some out there that I even love my local shop. Cameroons is just and
you talk about that a lot.
Great ventilation helps. It's just great. I just love it.
Band is off. We are still sporting.
Yeah, I'm getting close to
getting a little hook to the ash here, but I'm gonna let this ash on myself, and I'm not gonna drop it until it wants to do it. It's on its own. But this is really good. Oh no, that was like me when I was taking a photo the other day, and literally I'm holding up the ash, and I'm about to hit click, and it just drops on me. Oh, I was so mad.
Just got it. Damn, I lost my train of thought. What? Yeah.
Oh no.
We were within seconds of.
I know. That's still a damn. Ooh, that's hot.
Places you've smoked a cigar that just didn't. That's the tough thing, because is it the place or is it the cigar? But places you've smoked a cigar that didn't cut it, you don't prefer to smoke there, or not your cup of tea.
Wow, that's a good question.
And I don't have an answer either, but I mean, some people smoke in their cars.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Never done that. I've never smoked in a car because
rental cars for sure if it's a smoky car, but we're super psycho about cars and keeping them clean, and
for sure.
So that's a no-go. If I had an old beater, like an old Jeep or just like an old Bronco.
Don't even get me started on having a Bronco.
Just some like old like weekend beater. Like you best believe I'll be ripping in it. But I don't know if I necessarily have I guess I do. Smoking on the beach is a no-go.
Ooh, it's just too hot. I've done it like on a cruise before. Like we stop
too
out
windy,
and go to a beach.
And then you got sand hands, and then you start tasting salt, and it's seagulls are trying to friggin'.
But I'll still do it because I want a cigar.
I probably will too, but it's just not.
It's not as enjoyable. I'm definitely grabbing a cheaper stick. Something maybe that's like $4 or $5 that I'm not too concerned if I have 3 puffs and I'm just miserable.
Toss it in the ocean.
Yeah, well, no, Griff. We are responsible. We put it out in the sand and bury it. It's all
natural.
We put it out in the sand and bury it. Make glass with
Official
heat.
like it.
I don't necessarily think. I think that's a really good call out. I don't think I have a place where I hate having a cigar. I don't like having a cigar while I'm going for like a walk or something like that.
Yeah.
I still do it because it's enjoyable.
I still do it.
But it's just, I don't know. You're walking. It's just not conducive to smoking a cigar. But it's still something
on a golf cart.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Not good, especially if you don't have a windshield. It's damn near impossible.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would look at going back to driving while smoking a cigar. I know some people do it religiously, especially a lot of reps who are traveling all the time. I don't know how you avoid just completely burning holes in your car by dropping ashes, especially people that like have the window down to maybe get some circulation into it. Yeah, I don't know how they keep a cigar lit and keep their ash going.
Shout out to Alex at My Cigar Pack. He's notorious for this. Clearly he knows what he's doing. I do not.
No,
I don't. I just feel, especially if I'm in someone else's car, I'm like paranoid the ash is going to drop in between the seat or I don't know.
I mean, I'm like that at a lounge too.
Last cigar I smoked in a car was probably with Ryan from Alec Bradley in Pittsburgh, and we were driving to get pizza, and we all brought cigars and lit up in his car, and I was a little tense because I just didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah, exactly.
This is freaking awesome. I'm not even driving.
God, can you imagine back in the day? Do you remember, you're not that much younger than me. Did you ever grow up with cars that had, especially like in the backseat, the little ash trays where you push down?
And airplanes.
Yeah, and airplanes too. I remember for the longest time being a kid and playing with those. Smoking on an airplane would be sick. Having a little private jet, recirculated air, just hot box in the cabin. Now that would be a cool experience.
It probably wouldn't even be that smoky in there. It siphons so much air.
Yeah, I don't know how it would filter it.
I don't either.
But that would be really cool.
I would have loved to have been alive back in the olden days. Everybody smoking cigarettes and walking on a plane and then getting off and just reeking. That'd be great.
I miss the days, or I would have loved to have enjoyed the days where not only you could smoke on a plane, but everyone dressed up.
Yeah.
Men were always in slacks
yeah.
and a jacket.
Yeah.
Obviously, they had a lot more room on a plane then because they weren't packing them in like sardines. It was much more of an experience and a rarity. Not that I necessarily want to go back to people not being able to fly, but just that atmosphere of people are dressed up, whether it's first class or not. Like even now, you still see a lot of business people dress up for first class. Like first class is still kind of have that jacket, pants, tie sort of feel to it. But I think that.
But also, it's
cool.
kind of like those guys are all going to meetings and
That's
stuff.
True too.
And
yeah.
I always get on a plane and there's been multiple times if it's like a $40 upgrade, I'll 1,000% upgrade to first.
Oh, God, yeah.
I did actually last time from TP. I was like Vegas to Charlotte or something. It was like a 4-hour haul. I'm like,
That's
it was stupid cheap for some reason. So no problem, that'll happen. But you also just wonder their stories, like especially the guys in the suits. I'm always trying to figure out what they do, and
I love talking to those people.
Keeps my mind occupied.
Have you ever seen or? Trying to think, there was a few times that I've been on a plane where there was a celebrity. I think Ludacris was on one of my flights before.
Really?
As Bailey and I were flying down for our honeymoon down to Florida, Michael Vick was in the airport. He was sitting in the, it's not a terminal, but like D46, and he was in D45. Okay. And so that was cool. Like immediately before anyone went up to him and recognized him, sitting next to Bailey, I was like, that's Michael Vick. And he was just retired at that point. He had been an Eagle for a while, which I'm a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. So I went up to him and, just said thanks for his time as an Eagle, which was super cool. And then I wasn't the first one to go up to because I don't like celebrity. Like there are people too, right? Like he had his entourage with him, and being in Atlanta, he was certainly well known. But I was not the first one to go up to him. So as soon as someone went up to him,
love to make a joke right now.
Don't. I quickly went up to him before kind of a crowd built around him. And once they realized he was off in the corner, I was like, hey, man, appreciate all that you did for us. And it was a cool experience. But I've seen a couple cool people as I walk past them in first class. I'm like, oh, shit, that's Ludacris. What's up?
No one on the plane. In the terminal, I saw the massive guy that was on Happy Gilmore. Years and years and years ago, at the very end, the massive guy, I can't think of his name, who chases.
Yes, the bagger, the caddy.
No, it wasn't the caddy. He was someone in the audience. That's two for you, shooter. I'm gonna have to look up his name afterwards.
That's gonna bug me. But I know who you're talking about.
Just like literally massive guy from Happy Gilmore, and that'll be his name. But he was actually, believe it or not, getting hauled in a golf cart. Funny enough, he was too big to walk, I guess. But never seen anyone that I can recall on the plane.
I've never sat next to anyone famous.
And I'm not the guy to some celebrity could walk right past me, and I would probably not even pick up who he is because I'm not good with that kind of stuff, specifically sports guys. But
I was a big wrestling fan growing up back in the era of WCW in the 90s. And I was in the Atlanta airport at baggage claim. And I don't know if you ever watched wrestling, but Diamond Dallas Page was there. And that was a really cool one. He was looking a little haggard before he got himself clean with his yoga. But that was another cool celebrity. It was obviously years after I watched wrestling, but that was a cool one for me.
Real wrestling or fake wrestling?
Entertainment wrestling, because it's not fake.
Fake wrestling.
Oh, you're gonna get some angry people in the comments with that one.
Yeah, all wrestling's fake. So if I want to go punch some air, I'll do it at my house.
Wow, hot take.
I'm extremely relaxed.
I've come down from the
and I'm not drinking a thing, but this cigar is really, really hitting it right now.
I've come down from the hour of stress that I had building up to the podcast. I was worried.
Yeah, you were pretty hot.
I was. Everything seemed to go wrong that could have gone wrong. But we've settled in now. We've got a little bit of whiskey in me. I ate today, so this isn't hitting me as like it did for you the other week.
I will tell you, I think one of my all-time favorites, and this could probably go for our old house in Pensacola and this house. I love having a cigar at my own house.
Yeah.
Right here or in the backyard, either with the TV on or the fire going or neither on. It's the best. I'm envious of your front porch as well as your back porch, and I need to find,
I've been looking up just a better chair to sit out here. Like these chairs that I have are just...
Because aren't you on a bench or something?
No, they're swivel chairs, but they're
Okay.
Amazon, right? So it's like $200 for the 4 sets of chairs. A metal back, which is not really conducive. It's probably why I've been miserable all week with my back.
Yeah.
But every chair that I look at, it's like $600, which is a lot up front. But then when you think about it, it's, if I'm in it every single day or 3-4 hours plus a week, that value gets there. But you have that koi pond, I could just sit there and listen to that all day long.
Yeah, we're very fortunate and very pleased with our current situation. But I love, because everything's here. If I don't like it, I'll go 10 feet in and grab another cigar. If I'm thirsty, I'll go upstairs and get some bourbon. Or it's just, and I'm in my pajamas or, just not dressed up or whatever. I love... My all-time favorite is either at nighttime, if it's cool out with a fire going on the back porch, or if I'm being lazy, come out here, nighttime, all the lights are off, and we've got these bushes, I think I've told you, we kind of hidden in the cul-de-sac a little bit, and just sitting out here in the silence, or bring out a little speaker and play something, I've got a Griff's Cigar Vibes or something playlist I've created.
There you go.
And I just sit here in complete silence. All the kids have already gone to bed, and it's very quiet where we are. It's the best.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, especially now that it's a little bit daylight longer. We love coming out after dinner, throwing up the TV. Got a little small TV that we'll bring out, put on a show that a comedy show or something like that, glass of wine, sit back. That's the thing that stinks the most about going to a cigar lounge, which I absolutely love, but having to pay someone else prices for bourbon. If I go to Cigar Lounge, I'm probably drinking beer because it's the least jacked up price. But here I can go for any wine that I want, any bourbon that I want, any cigar that I want. If I go into brick and mortar, I'm going to buy at least a cigar, because I'm going to bring my own because I'm going to want to smoke what I have, but I'm still going to buy something just because I want to support them. So there's all this extra cost. And
I know, it is.
Sit back and enjoy. And then you got to get there too, and then drive home. It's a production that you've got to be.
It is
kind of ready
the
for.
Whole thing. Yeah, I think just my all-time favorite is just right in the company of my good old homestead. You know
whose smoke spot that I want more than any? And
who's that?
You're not going to guess, so I'm just going to tell you. Barbecue Buddhas. Barbecue Buddhas. His enclosed swimming pool. Granted, he's got always some type of meat smoking, but anytime he's smoking a cigar, I'm just like, damn, I would love to have that as my backyard.
Yeah, he's got he had a killer setup in Kentucky, but this is definitely nicer with the pool and the whole grilling area. It's a prime cigar smoking spot.
That reminds me, too, one of my favorite things. So, you know this, we go to a cabin every Martin Luther King weekend to celebrate my mom's birthday and Christmas. Just makes it easier not having to figure out, whose in-laws we're going to that year. So we always do it afterwards. And we always pick a cabin that has a hot tub because I love smoking a cigar in a hot tub.
Never done it.
Oh, dude, it's
I think my hands will be wet. It's just too much.
You keep a hand out. I channel my inner Omar.
I know, but then it gets cold.
No. Cold. Your whole body, you're drinking. You're drunk at that point. Omar from Fratello is notorious for smoking a cigar in his hot tub. And every time I go to the cabin, I channel my inner Omar, and I'll just sit there, beer on deck or bourbon, and just throw down cigars. Hearing the river, we love to have a place that's got a river in the back so you can hear it. And either by the campfire or a bonfire or the hot tub, just sit down there the whole time and not move.
I don't know of anyone with a hot tub that I can think of, but
I want one so bad.
Yeah, you should get one.
I mean, I can. I just, I don't know.
You got the spot for it.
I do.
Although it's already hot as fuck. Excuse me. It's already hot as
it is
crud where you are. So,
but I'd still sit in and not even turn on the jets and be.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one
fine.
big bath at that point, I guess.
Yeah. I'll do a podcast when we have an inflatable pool that we blow up in the backyard over the summer, and I'll blow it up. We'll do a live podcast of me chilling in the pool, sort of like you did. Well, no, it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, you jumped in the pool.
I jumped in the pool. Yeah, that was fun. That was real fun.
I know there's something about bodies of water and smoking a cigar that I really enjoy. The exception being the beach because it's normally sandy and salty, and then you're just kind of miserable.
Windy.
But
But you go to the lake a lot too, and like smoking out there.
I do. That was actually going to be
that.
my next one as far as
I could do that.
favorite regular place that you go to that's not your home. And for me, it's the lake. So fortunate enough that my father-in-law and mother-in-law have a lake house 45 minutes from us that they live out on Lake Martin, Alabama. And it's just, we were there last Friday, and we get there, and they're like, hey, you want to go for the first boat ride for the season? And I'm like, no, I don't. They all went on a boat ride.
What?
I went down to the dock. Because I don't, to the same point of smoking in a car, I don't want to smoke on their boat while we're driving around dropping ash on the upholstery.
Yeah, that's true.
So I went down to the dock, grabbed a chair, threw music on my phone, and went to town. So relaxed. There was not a boat in sight.
You're a big reader too.
I do. I love reading and having a cigar. It's like on a weekend or after work or on morning coffee. Love sit down with a book, reading, having a cigar. Anything that I can do to add to the relaxation of having a cigar, it's perfect.
I need to get into reading. It's so hard to keep me, even with TV series and stuff. It's hard to keep me engaged, and I think that's my biggest problem. But I could see coming out here with some bourbon and a cigar and a book. That would be pretty cool. Couldn't tell you what I'm going to read, but if there's any book that you think that will keep me engaged and you can swear that I'll finish it, let me know, because
and
I'll try again.
If in the March Insider we posted my pairing for that month, which was the book Endurance. You love the series Alone, right?
What?
The TV series Alone?
I couldn't tell you. Never watched it.
Yeah, you have on the History Channel where they put them out there and they have to survive on their own.
Naked and Afraid?
No, where they literally 8 people. They put them. You and Dave used to watch it all the time.
Yes,
this guy.
Yeah.
So it has that.
I've only seen the one season.
I thought you've watched them
several. And the one other season, I watched the one where I think it was like $1 million on the line or $100,000 on the line.
Yeah. That was a good season.
That was very good.
Y'all got me hooked on that show.
That was very good.
Endurance.
But I tried another season and it was.
I started out on season 1, so where it was just the prize pool wasn't as much. But I loved that show. And Endurance is just a survival book. It's true. It was thematic too because they were smoking cigars to, tobacco rations and things like that. That book was probably one of my favorite books that I've ever read. Just I
need to try it.
Books that push people through and just physical endurance and what people are capable of when push comes to shove in their life. So that book was phenomenal. I don't necessarily know what you've enjoyed reading before, but I would highly recommend that. I'm currently reading Grant's book, which I wish I had out here with me. That's about that thick. That book is phenomenal.
What is it?
Grant, Ulysses S. Grant, by Chernoff. He wrote Hamilton and Washington, the play Hamilton.
Wow.
He was the author
Fancy.
of the book that Lin-Manuel used for to write that play. But that book's phenomenal as well. Anything history, sci-fi, I don't know. I've always enjoyed reading since I was a kid, and it's just a nice getaway. I read at night too, like before bed. That's kind of how I fall asleep.
Really?
It's great. Anything that, I don't know. It's therapy. I don't go to therapy, and I
all for it.
I'm all for people that do, and I found with cigars and reading that it's kind of my own personal therapy. So until that stops working.
This is nothing against my parents. They just never really, and they're amazing parents. I love them to death. They just never forced it.
Yeah.
And I think that has implications now that I just never picked it up. And same with my wife. She was in the same boat. She doesn't like it, and she can't stay focused just like me. So, but I'm willing to try again. And
I think for a lot of people, it's just not finding a book that encapsulates that, or where you just can't put it down, right? So whether that be the wrong type of book, the wrong theme of book, the wrong interest. Once you have a book that is up your alley, or the writing style is easy, where it's a kind of a page turner, you just get so encapsulated in it that you can't put it down, and you have to know what happens next. It's all just finding that kind of genre that pertains to you.
I even thought about getting like a Kindle or something, but I'm like, I probably spend $100 and probably won't even use it. So
I have a Kindle.
I'm like,
I have so many digital books to read because I was spending $1,000 a year on books, and Bailey's like, this is too much. I have no room for books. My bookshelf's full.
I mean, that's something to me that's not a waste of money in my opinion.
No, not at all. But I don't go back and reread books. But I love looking at the books that I've read, and I've gotten better over the years of donating books that I have read that were just sitting in the closet because I didn't have room for my bookshelf, and so I'll sell them back for pennies on the book. But at one point, I was just stacked high of books that couldn't go anywhere. But I was like, I don't want to get rid of these because I like looking at the weathered back where you can see the creases. There was just something cool about that that was hard for me to get over and to the point of.
Or the folded pages.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd have a Kindle, and it just doesn't have that same aesthetic of being able to reminisce on what you've read. It's weird, but
also I think with a Kindle, you don't feel like you're making progress because you're holding the same damn thing.
Yeah.
That's for me. It's like motivation of holy shit, I'm actually doing this thing. I'm halfway done. And then that stops. Halfway is usually my all right. I'm done with this. I can guess the ending.
I could see you enjoying like biographies,
Maybe.
like historical biographies of people.
Maybe Endurance would be a good. Honestly, the only sounds so bad, and I hate to even say this. I think one of the very few books I've completely finished was a book called Hatchet by Gary Paulson.
I remember Hatchet.
But golly, that could be like a kindergartner's book. I couldn't tell you, but that it's like survival for sure. That's kind of my jam.
Yeah, I could see Endurance, and I think you would also enjoy political thrillers as well. There's an author, Vincent Flynn, who unfortunately passed away years ago, but his books are still carrying on. They're kind of political action thrillers to the kind of the same boat as like Tom Clancy, maybe a little less military, like CIA operative. I think you would really enjoy those books. Those books are American Assassin was made into a movie a few years ago with Taylor. Was it Taylor Kitchen? I think it was. I may be incorrect on that one, but that was a movie based off of the Vince Flynn book, and those books are all really, really good. Page turners, intrigue, action. I could see you enjoying those.
If there was like a book on like Jack Ryan, the series on Amazon, oh man, I'd be all over.
There is, right?
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, they're based
Tom
off
Clancy.
Yeah, they're based off the Tom Clancy novels.
Yeah. Okay,
so
but I want the Jack Ryan book.
Yeah, so most of Tom Clancy's novels do center around Jack Ryan. Some of All Fears, if you remember that movie from the late 90s, early 2000s, that's Jack Ryan.
Wasn't born yet.
You 2000s, baby.
Yeah.
Those books as a kid, were harder for me to read because of the content was a little bit heavier. I think if I went back now and read some of the older Tom Clancy books, Hunt for Red October was a fantastic book. The Rainbow Six book is probably my all-time favorite Tom Clancy book. To your point, though,
tomorrow I need your top 3 that are your favorites and you think I'd like. And
absolutely.
I'm gonna give a whirl.
To your point, the Vince Flynn books follow Mitchell Rapp, and he's basically like your Jack Ryan. So I think you would enjoy those books. But yeah, I'll send you over those books. But yeah, reading and smoking a cigar, it takes you there, especially if you're reading a book that has a prominent figure like Grant smokes 7 to 10 cigars a day, or I've got a book about Winston Churchill that I plan on reading. And so cool. Just having that kind of added element to it, you kind of can associate with the person that you're reading about.
I feel like this is turning into just a strictly book podcast, but I'm just like...
I started it from the get-go. This is a chill podcast.
I feel like I'm just like wasting my brain away watching some useless episode or series on TV. I'm like, need to do something better with my life.
Well, think about it like this. If you read a chapter a day, half a chapter a day, it's more than what you were reading before.
True. I mean, anything at this point would be more than I'm reading.
Yeah.
So...
Ooh,
I'm gonna do it.
I'm relaxed. Yeah, I'll hook you up. I'll give you a couple books that I think you'd be really into. That I've read that I think are based off what I think about you.
I'm gonna do it.
Oh man, I'm relaxed. I could talk all day. This is little change up. I enjoy this. Kind of
go to sleep.
unscripted. I could as well. Other than the sun's
Yeah.
approaching, so I'm about to start sweating even more than I already am.
So as we get into the final third of the Placencia Cosecha 146, I don't even know what size did we get?
I think I got. Let me
It
tell.
was like a smaller Toro,
I gotta pull it up.
and it wasn't a Robusto.
I was about to say, yeah, it's not a Robusto. Let me see here. Cover for me. Fill the dead air. We got the. No, it is a Robusto. It's a 5x50.
No shit.
Yeah,
Would have never guessed. I don't.
this is phenomenal.
Wow.
This is now. I was saying in the beginning it was like maybe slightly over medium, and I think this has fallen right to just straight medium.
Yeah. It's definitely, to me, they're medium. I mean, the red label Alma de Fuego is. It would be. I actually potentially might like that one a little bit more than this. We're gonna try them all,
Yeah, we are.
but they are always consistent. It's exactly what I remember from smoking last time. Speaking of which, Pugh also, which I think you've had before. You've had Supreme Leaf. No, you haven't.
No, I haven't.
Son of a bee. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday. We both
Yesterday,
at the same
both
time.
Pugh and I at the same exact time, within minutes of each other, smoked the Aganorsa Leaf Supreme Leaf Robusto 5x54 box press, slight box press.
box press.
And it was exactly, although it was a different size that I smoked in a year and a half, 2 years ago, it was exactly what I remember smoking at the Aganorsa warehouse in Miami. Super clean cigar, great pepper, spice, phenomenal
bit of, like,
cigar.
I think I used the word like funk to it in
Yeah.
a good way. To me, that cigar, and I've obviously never been to Aganorsa, but smoking that cigar, it reminded me of old Warp's product.
Yeah.
And then also, as I'm smoking it, I mean, it's clearly Aganorsa. It is unmistakably Aganorsa tobacco, and it's what I imagine their aging room with their cigars, or where they sort their leaves from. I mean, it was just incredible, and I finished it, and I didn't feel like I had a cigar. And I think this cigar here is going to be not nearly as clean, but it's going to be just super clean, like I didn't smoke a cigar, which is I enjoy. Like, I don't necessarily want to sit around all day and feel like I need to brush my teeth because I had a cigar.
Yeah.
That was a treat.
I smoked the Warped La Relatos right after, and it was like, again, it was like I had sometimes you go back to back, it's overlapping and overbearing, but it was the La Relatos was a lot better than I recall, but it was two fantastic cigars. Interesting for you, back to back days of having two. I love smoking something brand new, like when I smoked the 149 earlier this week. And I smoked the Tricky Chaka in the 4x48 size.
The Tricky Chocolate?
Which was a new one for Tricky Chaka.
What the hell is
the
that?
Mi Querida from Dunbarton.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Where's that?
I know when he first said it to me, I'm like, the Tricky Hooey? But yeah, I smoked two back-to-back cigars that I'd never had. And I love doing that, especially when they're amazing cigars and not duds.
I have smoked more cigars this week than I think I've ever done in a single week. I think I've had, with the exception of yesterday and today, I think I've had back-to-back cigars. It's just been too nice out, and if I'm outside, I'm gonna chimney cigars.
About it.
I smoked the
brulee,
the blue brulee from Saka, which he swears is not sweetened. Sombresa.
Oh yeah.
I've had both of them now, and he swears they're not sweetened, that the tip's not sweetened. I don't know how.
You were thinking?
I don't know how that's true, because that cigar is incredibly sweet, but it was so good.
It's like that Nat Sherman Host. I swear they dip it as well, but they don't, from what I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like all things Dunbarton.
Yeah.
All of his cigars to me have been right up my alley. They all tend to be a little bit more full-bodied.
Mm-hmm.
Sin Compromiso is.
I have one of those.
So
I think I have the Paladin in my humidor, which I'm not scared to smoke, but I feel like I need to have an after dinner, it's a little chilly outside, sit down and smoke it rather than midday.
Yeah. They they hit it for me. So
Well, this was great. I know
like it a lot.
If you stuck to the listen to the entire podcast last week, thank you. That one was a little bit longer than we anticipated, but there was way too many good cigars to go through.
We covered a lot.
Not talk about all those. I looked at the runtime and it was like an hour and a half, and I'm pretty sure Ramsey cut back at least a good 20 minutes of us trying to figure out adjectives to come up with which we hadn't used. But we're nearing the end here. I enjoy the relaxation of this one. I think we do another giveaway. What do you say?
I'm always feeling giveaways on these things.
Yeah, it's fun.
Let's do a giveaway like we always do. Let's do a mixed sampler of which the 146 will be included.
I like that.
We enjoyed it so much, we'll include it in the sampler. Do we have a question? I just thought of one.
I did, but yours is probably better than mine.
It could be the same.
It could be.
Same question, maybe.
I want to know, everyone in the comment below on YouTube, let us know your favorite spot, your favorite place to smoke a cigar. Whether that be places that you normally go to, or like the question that we had earlier, where your favorite place that you want to go to and have a cigar. I'm curious to see what everyone's talking about.
Yeah. Like this video. Drop a comment of your favorite place, most memorable place, wherever you want to take it. Like always, we'll pick a winner. We'll comment. You got to email Pugh. We'll put together a sampler. The 146 will be included.
Yeah.
Also, the 146 can be some in your boxes as well. So
yep. You may have more than one, which you won't be upset if you haven't smoked one before.
Yeah. Placencia is a new partner of ours, and we're going to start including more and more Placencia throughout the next couple of months, and I'm so excited for them.
I'm just excited to smoke all their lines.
That means we get to get the cigars as
exactly. And if you are smoking the 146, whether you win or you have it in your box, I'm enjoying the 107 with it. I don't think I'd go higher proof than 107. I think anything down to even just an 80 proof bourbon, if you've got that, would be really good with this cigar. It's kind of a cigar that would probably lend itself well to any type of bourbon that's not too high proof.
I bet 1910 would be good too.
Yeah, that would be. How's the water with it?
Water's fantastic.
I haven't seen you drink water since we started this podcast, so I don't know if you're really that dehydrated.
Which is also kind of concerning. But sometimes I just love drinking water with cigar because it's like strictly cigar.
The cigar. Yeah, anytime I smoke, with obviously the exception of something like this, if it's a brand new cigar, I'll usually drink water or sparkling water with it just to sit back and enjoy and really kind of pick out the nuances of the cigar and really determine if I like it or not. Kind of a neutral base to it.
Likewise. Fam, you know what to do. Most memorable and or favorite place to smoke a cigar. Leave it. We'll pick it. And then you can smoke it.
No, this was great. Thank you for joining us for another Cigar Club podcast. Happy smoking until next week.
Smoke something good, damn it.